What's up, people? Welcome back to Blackburn News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? Good to see you. People rolling into the chats. Oh, where is my show on Odyssey? There it is. Live on Odyssey. Live on Substack. Let's see if they're... All right. I'm here on Substack. I'm here on YouTube. I'm here all week. Bump. You think silver will go to 30, Malcolm? Hard to guess. But it is down. It is going down. Crypto is definitely going down. Crypto is definitely in a turn, and that turn is down. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if it goes to 30, that's kind of awesome, right? If you don't, not if you, let me rephrase that. It's awesome if you don't have any yet and you want to buy some. Probably not awesome for people that have been holding from, if you bought in at 60 or 70 or 80, that wouldn't be awesome, but it'll go back. It'll go back up. I mean, for sure, gas might go up to 20. Very good. I feel a little bit better about buying silver than I do crypto at the moment. It's hard to tell. I feel like crypto is definitely a riskier asset. Though they're probably going to power all the new digital AI and also digital dollar infrastructure with crypto, the backbone of crypto. Now, which crypto that is, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be Bitcoin or Ripple, or nobody knows, or whether they're going to create a digital dollar and then just the chances, like they could build the infrastructure, the blockchain infrastructure for digital money, and then turn around and ban all crypto, right? Which is totally that's a scenario that could happen. Aaron Day, who is kind of a crypto guy, kind of a money sovereignty dude. I always follow his posts. Well, there was a wipeout in the South Korean, sorry, not North Korean, South Korean stock exchange this morning, which seemed to hit some other Asian markets, but not so much American markets, maybe a little bit. I mean, there was a plunge overnight. It was mostly last week. The U.S. markets went down pretty much the whole week. The entire week was one long downturn, downward spiral. But whatever happened in the Asian markets didn't really hit the U.S. markets today. Not yet, anyways. I don't know. The collapse hasn't happened yet, but the forecasts for the demise of the stock exchange continue. Malcolm says crypto is for getting out of the country. Sure. Oh, I see what's going on here. Let's see what's happening. Yeah. But could silver go down to 30 again? I don't know. It might. If there was a big crash, if there was a Black Friday, Black Swan event, everything could just go, fall out of its trajectory, for a day or two or a week. Crazy EQ activity in the Philippines. Malcolm says people have to sell assets to pay for the shorts on the stock market crashes. Sure. Sure. Let's see. Give me 1 second, y'all. What else is Aaron Day? Oh, I'm not showing you this post. Sorry. He says, LFG, full send, down only, get your money out of the fake stocks that you don't own and fake money that is used to fund war, rape, and genocide around the world. Oh, I know what you're thinking. That's too extreme. Keep voting and let me know how that turns out. Aaron Day is not bullish on the current financial system, to say the least. Any of it, really. I think that's crypto included. So it might be good to have some money, some money on hand, some cash on hand if there is predictions for another downturn. Who knows? Yeah, the stock market is down because there's the war is off. John Kemper says the war is off again today, so that will change things until tomorrow. Well, war is apparently good for the stock market because we just went to all-time highs while the whole Iran thing was happening. While everybody was predicting doom and gloom and saying that that was the end of everything. Stock market was like, how about up? And now that the war is off, not so bullish. Now that there's, Trump is vying for a ceasefire. Speaking of which, Trump says Netanyahu won't have any choice but to accept a U.S.-Iran deal, declaring, I call the shots. Oh, some sniping. Sounds like a power struggle. Sounds like somebody's upset about maybe they're perceived or a position of power. I don't know. A lot of people raised an eyebrow at that statement because it doesn't seem like Trump calls the shots. He's got all the cards anyway, says John. Are you talking about Trump or Netanyahu? Who, I thought of this today. Does anybody have, if Israel just goes off the beaten path, way off the beaten path. Oh, baby. He holds all the cards as in all the files, you mean? The real files? Could we see, what do you guys think about this? Could things get so hairy in the Middle East that the U.S. actually attacks Israel? Like, do you think that's ever an option? Could it, because say what you will, Trump is a certified wild card. he seems to be playing the the puppet, pretty well right now. But like, I don't know. Could you see Trump, you know, I don't know, just in a fit one day? Do you think anybody would carry out those orders? If Israel did something so heinous, if Israel just continued to push the envelope to the point where we're like, all right, um, we're going down, everybody's going down, and we're just gonna, how about you first? Do you remember, uh, was it Clark? Was it Wesley Clark who said they wanted to, the Middle East was all the countries in the Middle East were going down? Hold on, like, this was after 9/11. The 7 countries in the Middle East in 5 years. Wesley Clark, 7 countries in 5 years. I think the last country he said was Israel. Let's find the video. Video unavailable. No way. Here we go.
And I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today. And he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
You're right. You're right, Victory Jin. Iran.
The truth is about the Middle East.
I mean, what seems to happen is a lot of posturing by Trump and or Netanyahu or both, that they're in a disagreement, right? This has been the playbook this whole year, where they're at odds. But they just tend to work in lockstep. So, but I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting out like wild scenarios that run through my mind once in a while. If there was a situation where, there truly was like some animosity, I don't know. Trump is pretty beholden to his shareholders, but I'm just saying, what if? I don't know. What if there was some kind of mutiny by U.S. military, right? I don't know. Could that ever happen? I'm not saying this is very likely, but these are, some of the wilder thoughts that go through my mind. Like, what if, what if one day somebody, Israel did something so heinous? Or like, all right, clowns. Although I think that what Israel has more than files is probably like a dead man switch. They have nuclear capabilities. We know this, but what I think they have is nuclear capabilities, you know, underneath the White House, right? Or underneath, sensitive positions, major cities. It's probably more than files. It's probably like we have a button, and if you really want to test us, we can take out New York if you want, or DC if you want, or whatever. If you really want to test, that's probably more likely than just, we have files to release. They've already released some pretty heinous shit, and everybody seems to just be like shoulder shrug. John says no nukes at the White House, hence Trump is asking for a rooftop of drones. No tyrants and kings, says Malcolm. Nothing is inconsistent, which is expedient. But Iran seems to be totally into whacking on Israel. And I don't know. I don't know if Israel is surprised. They seem to be. Breaking: Israel has closed all crossings into Gaza and halted the entry of humanitarian aid following Iran's retaliatory strikes on Israel, cutting off supplies to roughly 2 million Palestinians in the country. Israel has imposed similar blanket closures during previous periods of regional escalation, including immediately after the outbreak of war in late February, collectively punishing Gaza's civilian population. So there was a missile attack. Hold on 1 second. This is from yesterday. Iran launches ballistic missile attack wave on Israel, first since April 8th ceasefire. Iran has launched ballistic missile attacks on northern Israel. Excuse me. The strikes were in direct retaliation for Israel's attack on Beirut's Dahiya district earlier Sunday. So they were not unprovoked. They were in defense of Lebanon. The attacks marked the first time Iranian missile strikes on Israel since April 8th, represent a major escalation following Israel's resumption of strikes on Beirut. So that is concerning. And on top of this, we have Yemen bouncing into the exchange as well. Yemen has announced they are shutting down Israel's access to the Red Sea. That's crazy. That's interesting. That's on top of the Strait of Hormuz being supposedly down. Here is Yemen's Houthis have declared a total ban on Israeli vessels wanting to pass through the Red Sea. Sabby Sab says Israel is effed. I believe that Yemen also struck Israel with missiles. As part of the party that's going on over there. I'm trying to find something recent. I thought I saw something in the. Hold on one second, y'all. Thought I saw something. In my travels. Hold on. Oh, where is it? I thought I saw that Yemen had also hit Israel, but I don't know. This is from today. Houthis released footage of their missile launches against Israel earlier today. Israel says that one missile failed to reach their territory and the other was intercepted. So it wasn't a large attack. Yemen launches missiles towards Tel Aviv. But they're working in support of Iran as well. Oh boy. They fired a missile, but nothing really happened. And I don't know how serious we should take this. Israel is threatening to nuke Turkey and Egypt if Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu decides to engage in an unprovoked war of imperial aggression and conquest against them. This seems a little bit clickbaity. I don't know. Why Turkey? I don't know. I guess Kate's here. Hello. I mean, I guess these are all scenarios that could play out. This is, but maybe this kind of coincides with what I was saying earlier. Israel is threatening to nuke Turkey and Egypt. Why them and not anybody else? I don't know. If Netanyahu decides to engage in an unprovoked war of imperial aggression and conquest against them, the U.S. should threaten to wipe out Israel's military if they attack Turkey, since it is a NATO member state. Yeah, I don't think Turkey is the big player in this one. Something tells me. Anyways, we're going to leave this here as like, okay, sure. Albanians are still fighting the Kushner / Trump takeover of their island. Thousands of Albanians are refusing to surrender their land to Jared Kushner's elite private island wish. I had another really good, I can't find it, another really good video on this. I don't know where it is. Don't know that I will find it. But the Albanians are not. They seem to be, again, like most Europeans, more willing to take to the streets and actually get out and mix it up a little bit. John says their AI can't compare to Lego memos left on IG by Iran. No. Here's an interesting headline from the New York Times. Mexico can't go on this way. Jason Smith says the easiest way to tell if the USA is planning a color revolution in another nation, a color revolution in another nation. The New York Times starts publishing propaganda about that nation. Yeah, pretty much. This has been so for decades on decades, but people still think, I read it in the New York Times, so it must be true. It must not be propaganda. They're journalists, right? They wouldn't lie to us to promote the interests of the fascist corpo state. Never. A data center in Fayetteville, Georgia, secretly drained 30 million gallons of water, equivalent to 44 Olympic swimming pools. While residents watch their taps run dry, Georgia is in a severe drought. People are speaking out. We're all in a severe drought. And this isn't, I don't know why this isn't going to help. I know, let's put them underwater. Excuse me.
An hour from here in Fayetteville, Georgia, literally just 2 counties over, a QTS data center used 29 million gallons of unauthorized water usage, destroying water pressure for the surrounding communities, impacting the lives of citizens and businesses. They were billed $147,000 in retroactive charges with no penalties. Why no penalties? Because, quote unquote, they need to maintain partnership with their largest customer. The one that lied to them and stole from them, with friends like this, who needs enemies? Most importantly, there is no criminal liability, right? So if there is no fine, even if there was, if you fine someone $1 and they made 100, you've effectively legalized their criminality.
Yep. Here's another good warning. ChatGPT has launched a new health and wellness feature called ChatGPT Health that allows users to upload their medical records. Do not do this, says Amber Woods. Do not upload your medical records to an AI chatbot. Do not willingly provide your medical data to AI. And first comment says it's a shame that people are so dumb that this warning is even necessary. But yeah. Warning. AI is not your it's not your friend, not your pal. I tried to say pal and friend at the same time. It's not your fiend. Yes, it is. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Hold on one second. I closed my Substack feed. Please come back. Here we go. There we go. All right, we're back. I mean, I don't know if anybody's over on Substack or not. I don't know. Guys, I don't know. Let's see. You have AI. What? Let's see. What is it? What does that mean, John? You have AI DS? Iran fixed their drought problems. Apparently, yeah, they took out some facilities, right? Oh, AIDS. Okay. Sorry. That's hilarious. Is that what you get if you upload your health records to AI? You get an instant diagnosis of AIDS. Sorry, you have AIDS. Anyways, yeah, Iran like knocked out some military installations. Apparently, it fixed their weather problems. Huh? Huh? You don't say. But Trump keeps insisting that there's going to be a ceasefire is in the works. I don't know. It's hard to know what to believe. Hard to believe anything Trump says. And if you do, I don't know. This is from 5 hours ago. Trump says Israel and Iran looking to do an immediate ceasefire. Of course, this is why the stock market is down. No, that's actually not why. I mean, it's a factor. Well, one of the reasons behind I mean, not to include the overall bad health of the global economy and the fact that this war is putting a strain on all kinds of resources. But there's also a kind of a tech sell-off going on. So that is putting some pressure on the markets. And if anybody follows Michael Burry, remember the guy from The Big Short? He was the guy that had The Big Short. Michael Burry famously right now has like $1 billion short on the tech sector, mainly Palantir and Nvidia. So that doesn't bode well. If he's right, it doesn't bode well for the overall market. But his thesis is that everything is greatly, greatly overvalued on the level of the I don't know what was called. What was it called in the late 90s, early 2000s? There was like a tech bubble. I guess they call it a tech bubble or an internet bubble, something like that. There was a big downturn at the turnover of the 2000s, mainly because all of these newer tech companies were way overvalued. And he thinks the same thing is happening right now with Palantir's valuation and most of the valuations of all the other tech stocks. $1 billion is a big short. That's a big ass short. That's a big bet, but I guess he's got the money to do it. AOD says, my medical records for ChatGPT would say something like permanently erect metal fingers on both hands. Hello. Come on back. Climate change is marching along. El Nino is marching along. El Nino. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on. Have you ever heard of El Nino? Europe. Okay. Guys, if you like the show, if you want to support the show, there's lots of ways to do it. You know what to do. As the song goes. Anybody know what song that is? You know what to do. Nope. Nobody. I'll give you a hint. It's Fishbone. It's Fishbone. The .com bubble. Thank you. I knew there was a word for it. I wasn't getting the word right. Get it straight. The .com bubble. Let's see. Fine. Oh, did I finish my spiel about supporting? Lots of links in the description box. You guys know what to do. You know what to do. Many of you support the show on the regular already. You know who you are. I appreciate you. Let's see, Malcolm, how gold and silver behave during that go a long way to explain how it's behaving now. You mean the go last year? Or are you talking about the .com bubble? I think that's what you mean. Honestly, my memory does not reach that far back. I mean, I can't even remember the name of it, the .com bubble. How did gold and silver respond during the .com bubble? Crash then soar. Ooh, you want to look at it? I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if that's easily findable. I'll take your word for it, though. Let's see. Silver prices struggled and underperformed as investment capital flowed heavily into technology stocks. This is 95 to 2000. After the bubble burst, when the Federal Reserve began cutting interest rates, silver and gold prices began their impressive rallies. Gold rose by 22%. Silver's performance was less highlighted. I mean, I imagine that Silver's got a lot more, I don't know, branding, if you will, a lot more visibility. I mean, people have always been interested in silver and gold. I think that's always true, but I think given the awareness people have now around gold and silver, yeah, sure. I could see him trying to dump it and scare everybody into selling off, which it certainly would probably scare a lot of people off. Especially if you bought, in the last 3 or 4 months, you bought at 80 and goes down to 30, and you're like, heck no, I got to save some of my money. But that would be a bad bet. That would probably be a bad move. Might want to buy more at 30. But I'll take it. I still haven't purchased any silver or gold, just because I can't. But hopefully, golly gee whiz, if I had some kind of reserve, some kind of backup, that if it goes down to 30, I could jump in and buy a bunch. Heck yeah. I would. I probably wouldn't. Sorry if I'm just rambling now about things, buying things, but I would dare say that it wouldn't be such a bad time to buy crypto at the moment. Again, I don't feel like very bullish on crypto, but it's down so much right now that it's most likely going to rally back up again. I mean, maybe it might go down further to 50 Bitcoin, but it might be a worthy investment just for another year, right? If you want to just buy it and hold on to it for a year, this might be a good time to do it, because it probably will come back up again. But I'm not giving any financial advice. Do not listen to me whatsoever. Never take my word on what to do with your hard-earned casholas. You know what I'm saying? Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Outcast used the lyrics, and you know what to do. You know what to do. Oh, that's right. Hey, that's right. That's right. That's right. They did. I think Fishbone has a song where they say that too. But yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. There's a song that's I feel like the Fishbone song that they say something in there like that is extremely X-rated. So was Skanking to the Beat. Skanking to the Beat. You were on the wrong song. No, you're right. You're right, John. Yeah, that's in Hey Ya. That's definitely in Hey Ya. Skaninkin. They weren't skanking, they were skaninkin. That's a whole other level of skank. I feel like that's what they do in that's like a Minnesota skank. We're up there skaninkin. Okay. I feel like today's show has been a little bit random. I apologize for the randomness of the show. To be fair, let me see. Oh, I'm trying to search for things. I'm totally just. Extra Bullet says random malicious. Yeah, today has been just kind of a random day, but we're getting some news mixed in with our randomness. Do you think the entire thing? One more question. Do you think the entire conflict is? And probably Denver will jump in. Maybe Malcolm might jump in and go, "Hell yeah!" The whole thing is just a theater, like a literal theater of operations. Right? Like Iran is just bombing Israel because we're allowing it, because they have to keep it going. Everybody's in cahoots. This is the most cynical, doomerish thinking that they're all, oh yeah, that's a possibility. Malcolm said, I knew it. He's all, yep. There's also that to consider, that this entire thing is just a stage play, and including all of the social media posts about what's going on, right? Everything is just, I'm not saying that people have actual reactions, that they don't have actual reactions to it, but I feel like, a certain number of the posts could be generated in order to keep people engaged, right? Just like the traditional TV cable outlets, said things or put things out in order to keep people like, tune in at 11. Extra Bullet says nothing is real. The oil prices won't go up themselves. Those oil prices won't go up themselves. Yeah. I swear I'm fine. Malcolm says my worldview is that they're mindfully playing King of the Hill on a dying planet. Sure. Yeah. Well, the thing actually, John says, I think our empire is concerned of loss of control. They're trying to push everyone to buy our crap while still ruling the world. Yep. The thing that got me that raised an eyebrow for me, I mean, it's not that I kind of subscribe to several worldviews at the same time. I'm not all in on one, like, oh, this is definitely happening. I feel like there's plenty of things happening at the same time. I told you though that gas went down, like there are some places around here that are selling gas for like $1 cheaper than everywhere else. All of a sudden, just out of the blue, it was like I just driving down the street. Gas has been, close to $6 pretty much everywhere. $5.50 if you're looking hard, you might be able to get it for $5.50. And I'm rolling down the street, and I look over, and there's gas for like 470. I was like, what the? And then that was true in a couple of other places around. I'm just like, what? How did that? How did we're on the brink of this? Supposedly just there's this. I know it was because oil prices dropped or whatever. It's the gas. I was thinking that too. Also, is it ethanol? Is it the new ethanol gas? Is that why it's cheaper? Who knows? There's so many reasons why this could be happening, but it just seems super funky, fishy to me. That they've just been edging it up. They're saying, oh, well, the summer, the demand goes down in summer. Really? Does it go down in the summer? Why? I don't know. It just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me, but that's kind of also like what happened during the Great Recession. The Great Recession, the Depression. They didn't want to call a depression. During the Great Recession, right? They had gas stuck at like $4 a gallon for like a really long time, right? And it was just bleeding everybody dry, and everybody was like, "Oh my god!" That actually pushed everybody over into defaulting on their credit cards or the mortgages or whatever. It was like knock-on effects of that gas being so high that it pushed a lot of it pushed the economy into some kind of free fall. And that was the year that Obama was elected. So gas was like stuck at $4 a gallon for the longest time, for like a whole year or something like that. And it was like, I don't know if it was a week before Obama was elected or the week after, but all of a sudden gas dropped like $2. I was like, really? It might have been the week before. Like they were trying to give Bush a push or something like that. But it just didn't make any sense. Like, oh, you have all these reasons that gas was stuck at $4 and, this is our, and just like that, it just reversed. And, part of me is like, okay, sure. I guess that makes sense, but methinks there was a bit of tomfoolery there. In fact, I know there was a bit of tomfoolery there. So I feel like they're doing a lot of tomfooling right now with the gas prices. For whatever reason, they're like, well, let's bring them down a bit just to cool things down a little bit. Well, who knows? They could shoot right back up. Diesel is up to $5.50. Oh, diesel's like $7 a gallon here, Warren. $7 a gallon. It's like if you drive diesel here, it sucks. Yeah, that's what I think, John. That's the average. Yes, I see that. Yeah, on average, it's up a lot. Truckers can't deal with it. No, they can't. And that, again, had the knock-on effects of that are, calamitous. So that could be a reason why they're trying to lower the prices. They understand that, like, there is a point at which things fall apart. And it's unsustainable. And they're trying to manage that. They want to keep things somewhat sustainable, because if you have everything just fall completely apart, that the elites might be evil, but they're not dumb. They're evil stupid, but they're not dumb. Right? Because if everything falls apart, then they actually risk kind of going down the drain with everyone else, right? You don't know that's when all the unintended consequences start happening, when things get really out of control. But it's about timing to the script. Trump making a mess then saves everything. In 2 years, MAGA goes third term crazy. Yeah. That's completely a likely scenario. And to go all the way back, just closing thoughts, to go all the way back to what I was saying about the possibility of Trump going rogue on Israel. Or maybe, like, wouldn't like, if Trump like cut off Israel or did something to Israel, he would instantly be, for a lot of people, like, even though everything else he's done has been, horrific. But if he, shut down Israel for whatever reason, or somehow was seen to go against Israel, he actually might burnish his image to the point where people might go like, well, we like that. Like, I don't know. Again, and that could be completely fake. That whole, anything that happened like that looked like that could be, hey, well, we're going to sacrifice a bunch of people in Israel just to put on this show for you. But like, here we go. Just saying, anything's possible at this point. Stay woke, stay on alert. Trump won't go against BB if he ain't making $1 off of it. Sure. Electric evil robot trucks like Duel are coming. Like in Duel. I love that movie, man. That's like one of the greatest movies ever made. Even if it was Steven Spielberg. I love that movie. He would attack Canada right after. That was Steven Spielberg, right? I don't want to be wrong. I hate being wrong. No, I don't actually care. I think he did Duel. It's a great freaking movie, though. Yeah, it was Steven Spielberg, 1971. Yeah. The chat censor algo is working hard today. It is so great in its simplicity, and it is incredibly threatening. I watched it when I was young, though, so that might have something to do with it. But I was kind of terrified by that movie. It was very simple, but very terrifying in its simplicity. All right, guys. That does it for me. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the conversation. We will reconvene on Thursday for another. It does. We'll reconvene on Thursday for another episode of Black Bear News, and we're gonna hope nothing too insane happens between now and then. Just, hoping for just a little bit of, just regular normalcy for a little while. I don't know, but we'll stay on top of all the things that are happening that are pertinent to our world. Just be safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, beware the bear.